chance, man. You got the money.
Pay you later, okay?
You sure? What happened to McDonald's? Where's my money?
Pay you later, okay?
You sure?
Yes.
You better.
Raymond, what was that?
It's nothing.
I saw him give it to you. What was that?
It's nothing, okay? No, no!
Give it to me. What is this, drugs?
It's meth, okay?
What?
It's meth, okay?
How many times have you done this?
Only a couple times.
Are you addicted?
No, I'm not.
I'll give you some police.
No, no, no! You don't know me, okay?
My friend Raymond was like a brother to me. I knew him better than anyone. But one day, I don't know how, but he got into drugs. Meth is one of the most addictive drugs out there. The body builds up its tolerance to it in minutes, so you just have to binge on it to remain high. It only takes a couple of uses to get addicted. The high wasn't always a bad thing. Sure, he looked pretty stupid sometimes, but he seemed happy. I could see why he liked it. On meth, Raymond was a lot more confident, and he had more drive. Give him a problem and he'd figure it out in minutes. He was actually fun to be around. But then the crash came, and it was a whole nother story. Raymond would yell and throw things too. He'd fight anyone who looked at him, and his grades suffered too. He couldn't pay attention in class. But worst of all, it was like he didn't even care anymore about anything or anyone. The sensitive boy I knew was gone. It got to the point where he couldn't enjoy things about meth anymore. When the high went away, he'd lock himself in his room for days. He would be depressed and have anxiety, and there wasn't a day that went by that he didn't think someone was out to get him. Sometimes Raymond would be so out of it, we were worried he'd hurt himself, but it wasn't like he hadn't already. His body began to decay with each use. He'd get sores and rotten teeth. He had needle marks all over his arms. He burned the nasal pathways in his nose from all the times he inhaled it, and his brain began to attack its own tissue. On meth, he'd hardly eat, but afterwards, he'd be so hungry and overeat that his body couldn't handle it. Rehab was our only choice, and it was his only hope. Time after time, he'd tell us he'd stopped using it, and we'd believe him, but the next day, we'd find him tweaking again. It was better late than never. It wasn't easy. At first, Raymond got even more depressed. Then there were the cravings. I can't even imagine what he went through. But eventually, that passed, and his body began to settle down. He was able to come back in full health. It was good that we stopped it when we did, because prolonged use of meth can deplete the brain's supply of dopamine, which causes feelings of pleasure and reward. If we had let things go on, Raymond might never have been able to feel happy again. Also, he could have died. In people with high blood pressure or heart problems, meth may cause strokes, heart attacks, or even death. I'm just glad Raymond didn't have any health issues, because meth could have made things much worse. Don't get me wrong though, meth can be used for good things too. It's used to treat ADHD, narcolepsy, and weight loss. But oftentimes it falls into the wrong hands. Even those who have a prescription can abuse it. So if you or a loved one is taking it, please be careful. Not everyone is able to survive like Raymond.
I'll pay you later, okay?
Okay? You sure?
Yes, yes.
God, whatever.
Slapper. Slapper.
Oh.
Ow!
That was weak. Go.